Before we begin, please take a second to like and subscribe, as it helps out the channel a lot. Thank you. I've never been a thrill seeker. I don't watch horror movies, I don't like roller coasters, and I definitely never wanted to explore abandoned places. But a few years ago, I went through a period of, let's call it a lapse in judgment. It was the fall after I dropped out of college. I was in this weird, aimless phase, working night shifts at a gas station, sleeping during the day, and spending way too much time online. That's where I met Jack and Miguel, two guys from a local urban exploration Discord server. They were older, in their late 20s, but they weren't creeps or anything, just kind of lost, like me. One night, Jack posted pictures from an old psychiatric hospital on the outskirts of town. It had been abandoned for over 30 years, left to rot after a fire took out one of the wings. The state sealed it off and supposedly demolished part of it, but a lot still stood, untouched, moldy, and forgotten. Jack called it Haverhill Asylum, though I could never find that name in any official record. The pictures showed dark, crumbling hallways, rusted bed frames, and stacks of patient files scattered across the floor. Something about it got under my skin. I told myself it was just curiosity, but honestly, I was feeling numb. I wanted to feel something. Fear, maybe. So when Jack invited me to check it out with him and Miguel, I said yes. We met at midnight in a strip mall parking lot. Jack handed me a flashlight and a cheap respirator mask. Air quality's probably shit, he said. Asbestos and whatever else. The asylum sat behind a chain-link fence deep in the woods. We hiked for 20 minutes in the dark, guided by Jack's phone and trail markers he'd spray painted on trees during past visits. The building itself was enormous, a mix of red brick and weathered concrete choked in vines with shattered windows staring like empty eyes. The main entrance was sealed with concrete blocks, but Jack led us around the back to a broken window on the ground floor. The second we stepped inside, the smell hit me. Mold, rot, and something sharp underneath, metallic. It was disgusting to say the least. Inside, it was worse than the pictures. Graffiti covered every wall. Nature was reclaiming the place, roots growing through tile, leaves curling through cracks in the ceiling. We moved slowly, stepping over debris, listening to the echo of our own footsteps. The first hour wasn't too bad. We took photos, peeked into empty offices, old rec rooms and bathrooms gutted by scavengers. The further in we went, the more claustrophobic it felt. The air got thicker, heavier, like we were sinking underwater. It started getting difficult to breathe in there. Then we found a door. It was at the end of a long hallway, covered in peeling blue paint, different from the others. The lock was still intact. No graffiti, no signs of anyone breaking in. That's when Miguel said something that made my skin crawl. This was the lockdown wing. Jack frowned. What? Like high-risk patients? Yeah, violent ones. There was a pause. I half laughed, half choked. You knew this was here? Miguel shrugged and said, didn't think it was still sealed. Jack started messing with the lock. If nobody's been in here, that means it's untouched. Untouched means photos. Let's at least look. He got the door open in less than 5 minutes. The metal creaked like it hadn't moved in decades. Inside, it was pitch black and ice cold. The flashlight revealed a long hallway narrower than all the others. The doors on either side were steel, not wood. Small, square windows at eye level. Most were fogged or too dirty to see through. One of them wasn't. I walked up to it and wiped the glass with my sleeve. Inside was a bed, no mattress, just rusted springs. The walls were scratched violently, like someone tried to dig their way out with their nails. In the far corner, I saw something that looked like a pile of clothes. I leaned in. It wasn't clothes, it was a mattress, torn apart, and on it, something darker, something that looked too much like dried blood. I stepped back. Then Jack called us over. He'd found the room with the patient files, boxes and boxes of them, still intact. Most of the pages were stuck together, but he pulled one out that wasn't. The name was redacted, but the notes weren't. Subject shows extreme violent tendencies, requires full isolation. Incident 6788 resulted in fatality of attending nurse. Subject is not to be interacted with unsupervised. Then there was a line at the bottom. Door mechanism modified after breach. Key required from 2 locations, nurses station A and basement security. I remember reading that and thinking, they locked someone in here, someone who killed a nurse, and they built a system to make sure that door couldn't be opened by accident. But here we were, inside. We kept going because we were idiots. Deeper into the wing, the air felt stale, the mold was thicker, our flashlights started to run out of battery. Not all at once, just every now and then, one of our flashlights would get dimmer. We knew we had to wrap it up and get out of there, because without a working flashlight, it's near impossible to find your way out of there in pitch darkness. At the end of the hallway was one more door. It was different. No window, heavier, like a vault, and it was open, just slightly, just enough to see the metal latch had been snapped, not picked, not unlocked, but snapped. Inside was a small room, chains bolted into the wall, a broken camera in the corner, and scratch marks, deep ones, on the concrete floor. Jack stepped in first. "Guess this was the special room," he said. I remember him saying that because that's the last thing he said before we heard it. Not a voice, not footsteps, breathing. It was heavy and close. Miguel swung his flashlight toward the hall we came from. Nothing. Then it clicked off. So did mine. Jack's went last. Total darkness. I don't remember the next few seconds. Just screaming. Someone crashed into me. I fell. My head hit something hard. That's the last thing I remember. I woke up to daylight at the hospital. My flashlight was gone, so was my backpack. My phone was dead. My legs were covered in scrapes. I had no idea how I got out of there until Jack and Miguel came by to see me. They explained how they encountered a crazy homeless person living in there and how they managed to drag me out of there, possibly saving my life. I'm still thankful to them for not leaving me behind with that crazy person. But sometimes, when it's really late and really quiet, I hear it again in my head. That slow, ragged breath. And I wonder what would have happened if my friends had left me behind.